Son of God, Friday at 11 on the street, chatting here. Here's Freddie Rivera.
Corvettes, 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 Corvettes. Yeah, let me just say here, I'm looking at some stuff about this message I keep getting on my car. They started about 2,200 miles in. So I figure let's just go search on Corvette forums to see if that's just a rare problem, or it's just, something happened when they fixed my paint issue. Because according to the service advisor, when I took it back to them because I was driving and this light popped on, service rear axle warning, he said it was because they took the back clip off, and that back clip has a sensor that somehow triggers the rear axle service light, blah 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 blah. Basically, in a nutshell, he didn't know what the hell was causing it, and so he said they reset something, adjusted the clip, or adjusted the harness, the wiring harness, and sent me on my merry way. And of course, I don't drive the car that much, so I mean, from the time I got it from them the first time after the paint fiasco to when the time I started driving it, the light started popping back on. So I'm looking at this stuff on Corvette forums, and it's a pretty common and also a pretty undecided issue in terms of what's causing the problems. So I'm just reading through some of these, right? This guy says his started today and an amber service rear axle light popped on. He dismissed it just like I do, just like the guy pretty much told me it was nothing to it. Just dismiss it. And the same thing with my car. The light didn't come on again. Yeah, for a few miles later, you can reset it. The light will go off. It won't come back on. Probably for the rest of the drive, or it might come back on again. Generally, mine seems to come back on when you're in 5th, 6th gear, 69, 70 miles an hour. It pops on. I mean, nothing happens to the car. There's no indication of any kind of problems other than that light is on. And I'm thinking that, okay, it's just probably an electrical glitch. But on here you can see the issue could be any number of things. This guy says, in answer to this guy, he says, suggest checking, changing the rear diff fluid. Okay, I would think that they would have done that with my car the first time they did it, but clearly they didn't. This guy said he had that actually checked at the 500-mile service, and I think they would check that at the 500-mile service, which I'm over that. Let's see. This guy says his has been coming on since the 5-mile oil change. Never came on before. Started coming on immediately after leaving the dealership, and he's gonna take it back Monday. This is fairly old post. These are 2015 cars, so this is a known issue. These are 2015 posts anyway. So I'm just going through all of these, and here's the long one. This one was having a real problem. He had rear diff filter was causing erratic stability track behavior, track mode to shut off, traction control, and stability track. So it was causing all of that. He says his problem was while entering a turn. I guess maybe he's tracking his car. I personally don't think you should track these cars. I don't think they're really geared for tracking and driving every day. It's hard to get a car that's going to track real well and then drive on the street. real well. And I don't think Corvette has the magic formula for that. I think a lot of these people that's tracking their cars, they're living with the other problems, and that's okay with them because they just want the engine. But in any case, let's see. Here's one in 2016. This guy's saying that in answer to this guy's problem, let's see what they say his problem was. He said his problem was a wheel speed sensor that was causing the light. That makes sense. One of these guys said the problem was something to do with the engine. Here's some more updated ones in answer to my questions, because I put on there. Here's my response. My 27 Grand Sport has the light coming on and started right after they took the rear clip off to paint it from a paint defect. I got an appointment for Monday, and I advised them of the solution you got, basically a wheel speed sensor. I think they would have checked that, but hey, to be honest, under Texas lemon law, this issue is about to push the car into eligibility for arbitration. But personally, I'd like to just get it fixed and move on, because, you know, I love the car. It's a good car. It's supposed to be a good car. But I see, because this guy has Texas Shaggy has a 2016 Z06 with 7,000 miles. His came on once about, what the fuck?
Hackers and bots.
His came on at about 1,000 miles while pulling into a parking spot. After then it started, he has never seen it again. Recommend I monitor if it only shows once and reset. Unfortunately, it shows more than once. This guy said his came on at 400 miles. Now you get my point. You see what I'm getting at here, right? Yeah, this damn light is coming on all these cars for unknown reasons. Service rear axle. And see, so his came on with only 400 miles showing on the car. He had to pull off the highway and let it sit for a few minutes. No strange noises. Checked for leaks and touched the diff. Of course, it was hot. My guess is the air temperature time was 112, and a sensor somewhere in the car was not playing nice. Never came on again. Next day, the next day at the dealer, the Corvette tech checked and drained the fluid and found no codes. The level from the factory was fine. He agreed with me that road surface temp was at fault. 37 miles an hour, it's been fine. So it doesn't seem like it's a problem with the diff. It seems like it's more a problem with electrical issues, which I think is true. And see, this guy says mine comes on every once in a while. There was no noticeable problems associated with it. That is really fucked up. These new cars, man. And so I guess essentially what they're saying, what these guys are saying, is just push the damn button that says dismiss and keep on trucking. So what if there is a real problem? Clearly that warning message won't tell you. I guess when the shit locks up, then you'll know you got a problem. But you can see here simultaneous error messages and drivability issues. Rear axle, we got 20 replies. There's another one with 15 replies. There's another one, Z51 2014. So, I mean, it's a known problem, but in terms of, let's just say if each one of these is a car with a problem, in terms of the number of cars sold, I don't think GM would consider that a problem. And if I was in business, I wouldn't consider it a problem either. But as a consumer, to me, it's a problem, because that light is supposed to be there to warn you that something's wrong. Now, granted, my car drives fine. There's no power loss. The light comes on, you just click it off. But I mean, if it's not an issue, the damn light shouldn't be coming on. That's what I'm saying. In any case, I'm taking my car in Monday to get it checked, but from reading this, I don't expect to get any kind of resolution. So again, I'm now considering maybe considering trading in the vet, because I mean, this is year one of the car. I got it in October, you know, October, November, December, January, February, March, you know, 5 months, and I'd have had paint problems, transmission problems, electrical switch problems, squeaking noise in the transmission when you put it in reverse. I'm thinking, okay, that's 5 months of ownership. What about 2 years? You know, I only got 2,800 miles on it. What about 10,000 miles? So, to say all that, the car that I also wanted since I was a little bitty kid was this car right here, a 928 Porsche, or Porsche, as somebody anally corrected me. To me, it's a Porsche. You want to call it Porsche, go for it. But this car, and the reason why I wanted this car, there was this 1970s movie. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube. I don't know if it was 70s. You remember Weird Science? Weird Science, the scene where they had I can't think of the latest name. The scene where they were at the they picked her up in front of the mall. I bet you I can't find it. And he pulled off in that 928, and that was the first movie where they had the sound. It was so perfect.
I'm waiting for my ride.
Yeah, this scene right here is what made me want a Porsche 928.
Lise, come on, hon, we're running late.
If I was looking at replacing my Grand Sport, which I'm really leaning toward doing just that, and the car that replaced this 928 is the Panamera. Now, I could not afford one of these. But if you look at some of the older ones on Car Guru, let's see, and I say old, I mean like 2014, 20, I think 12s, 2015s. Those cars are not bad. So I think what I will do is I'm going to go and look at some of these this weekend. And, I mean, who knows if there's a good deal. Because I'm really starting to think that the vet is nice, but long term, I don't know if it's a good deal. I really don't. So let's look at some of these. I think they came out in 2012. Let's go to 2015. Yeah, so they're still pretty expensive. Let's go by the lowest price first. Wow, look at that thing. That's nice. Yeah, so this is not bad. It's a 2012, 34,000. Here's a 2013 Platinum Edition, 37,000. Now that's not bad looking at all. I mean, I really do like the styling. And I don't think it's a really super fast car, but it does have it's got great style, and I don't know about the dependability of them. I would definitely want to look at that. It's got a big V8. I mean, I think it's a suitable replacement for the Vet. It's way bigger too. But 2012 for $38,950, I think that's a reasonable price. 64,000 miles. I'm gonna say 65. And these cars are clean. But again, I don't know about the reliability of them or anything like that, so I would definitely check. But in terms of the car that I wanted, also as bad as a Corvette, the Porsche 928 was the car. This is the replacement for the Porsche 928, I do believe. And because I don't think they made a 928 since maybe 94 or 96. That's a pretty decent sized engine. And they make a turbo version. I think that costs like 200,000 or 180, 100. It's way up there. But yeah, this is the car that I would look at, since I see all of these issues, unexplained issues, and I would imagine it's probably more than this. There's a lot of people that buy Corvettes, they don't give a crap about those lights and whatnot. They just want that engine to go. And it seems to be clear that this is not like these posts here, 2015. Those are some of the earlier C7s. But I mean, here I am in 2017, and you know, they might have made the issue a little better, but it's still there. And so I just look at long term for a car, you know. Maybe that's not the long term vehicle you'd want to have sitting in your driveway. At least definitely not the everyday vehicle that you want. I think something like this would be a good everyday car. Now that black one is cool. Of course, I already said I would never get another black car. So let's go with white. Oh, that's sweet. Wow. Yeah, I like that. I like this right here. But it's not cheap though. So something like this, I'd have to get at least 60. Oh, that's kind of high for this car. Mileage is not bad. That's why it's that high though. I had to get at least 62 for my Vet in order for me to do something like this. And I know it's a 2012, but I'm just thinking long term. Corvette got some issues, man. I still think it's a good quality car. If anybody wanted to buy a Corvette, I would recommend they do it. It's just for me, when you look at the quality of the paint issue, and even though I paid to have it ceramic coated, and when you look at the issue that they had with the transmission, that really and truly now I don't think it was an issue, because it's still doing the same thing, with the exception that now it's making a squeaking noise whenever you put it in reverse. Sounds like maybe some binding or something up in there isn't put right whenever they mess with it. And then when you talk about the switches on the door that stop working, there are some complaints on here about the radio actually stopped working. Although those are early models, I still see 2018s with paint issues. I still see some of these 2016 complaints here about the rear axle service light. It's just making the car look kind of cheesy, but it's still a beautiful car. I do want to explore some other options, and who knows, I might just keep it and get maybe a project Porsche Panamera, not one that's quite as expensive as these, because I've seen some really good ones in Dallas that were way cheaper than this. I mean, they were like 31, 32. So, gonna check that out. Anyway, that's my dilemma with the Corvette. So we're gonna take it in Monday. We're gonna see what they say about it. If it's like these forums that they don't really know, which I'm starting to think they don't really know, because if they did, they would have looked at it the first time and fixed it, and I wouldn't have to bring it back. I think this is the second time. Yeah, the second time I had to bring it back for the same issue. So that's kind of getting frustrating.